As soon as the US president leaves the White House, he becomes the most heavily guarded person in the world. The bag you see beside him is called the nuclear football. They even bring their own toilet seat. And the president's urine and stool are sealed in containers and taken back to the US. A microbiological food testing lab is set up in the hotel for the president's meals. Because of listening devices, even the TV unit in the president's room is replaced, and bulletproof glass is installed. US agents intentionally enter airports using dummy tickets and fake passports. The president's car already carries emergency blood matching his blood type. When you see the US president visiting another country and waving with a smile, it looks like a very simple event. But in reality, at that moment, the most expensive and heavily guarded show in the world is taking place. Every single movement is planned minute by minute in advance by US agents. The level of security and coordination required to manage millions of people during the Olympics is far less complex than the planning that goes into a single 15-minute city walk by the US president. The moment the US president steps out of the White House, he becomes the most heavily guarded person on the planet. And when the US president leaves the United States to visit another country, behind what appears on camera to be a simple visit, there is a security mission involving thousands of people, extensive coordination, and millions of dollars. So how does all of this actually work behind the scenes? How do US agents execute this entire plan? Today, in this video, I'll explain everything to you step by step. Whenever the US president visits another country, the planning usually begins 4 to 5 months in advance. Only emergency or urgent visits follow a much faster timeline. The process starts with a meeting between the US National Security Advisor, NSA, the National Security Council, NSC, the White House Chief of Staff, and the President. During this meeting, they discuss the purpose of the visit, the objectives that must be achieved, and the overall plan. Once the President gives approval, the preparations officially begin. The next step is creating an official document that records all the details of the trip, including the destination, travel dates, and other key information. This document is commonly known as the Presidential Decision Memo, PDM. After the White House Chief of Staff signs the PDM, the visit becomes official, and detailed planning begins. A second document is then prepared, covering everything from the visit schedule and priority objectives to security risks in the host country. This document is often called the Trip Directive Orders, TDO. Once the TDO is completed, it is securely distributed to all the government departments involved in the trip. Representatives from those departments then meet and form a specialized group called the Advanced Survey Team, often simply known as the Advance Team. From this point on, the Advance Team is responsible for making sure the president's entire visit runs smoothly. Each department has a specific role. White House officials coordinate the president's schedule and events. The U.S. Secret Service is responsible for security throughout the trip. The communications team installs secure phones and encrypted communication systems. Every member focuses on their assigned responsibilities so that every detail is prepared well before the president arrives. By the time the visit takes place, months of planning, coordination, and security preparations have already been completed to ensure everything runs without problems. During the same month, the Advanced Survey Team travels to the host country to inspect every location the president will visit. They determine which airport the president will use, the routes between the airport, hotel, and event venues, and finalize every location after detailed inspections. The team works closely with officers from the U.S. Embassy and the host country's security agencies throughout the planning process. Their first priority is selecting the safest and fastest travel routes. Every route is carefully evaluated, with backup routes prepared in case of an emergency. The roads must meet U.S. security standards, allowing the presidential convoy to move freely, control crowds, and be secured quickly if necessary. Every finalized route must also have a nearby Level 1 trauma hospital, preferably with a helipad, so emergency medical treatment can begin immediately if required. Communication is equally critical. Wherever the U.S. president travels, he remains in constant contact with the White House, the Pentagon, and the U.S. military through highly secure communication systems. For this reason, specialists from the White House Communications Agency, WHCA, are part of the Advance Team. They inspect every route for signal dead zones, weak radio coverage, and areas where surveillance equipment may not function properly. If any communication gaps are found, the team plans additional antennas, repeaters, cameras, or satellite support before approving the route. After the survey is complete, one final route is selected for every movement, whether from the airport to the hotel or from the hotel to an event. Once the routes are finalized, the advance team begins inspecting the airports in every city the president will visit. Airports are never selected randomly. The U.S. team follows strict standards before approving any airport for a presidential visit. Once an airport is selected, U.S. agencies take operational control of key areas and prepare a detailed security plan covering entry and exit points, security posts, observation positions, and the overall layout. The airport must meet specific operational requirements, including a runway capable of handling Air Force One. The team also tests the quality of the aviation fuel to ensure it meets U.S. standards. Next, they inspect rooftops, towers, hangars, and other elevated positions that can be used by security teams and snipers. At the same time, satellite imagery, drones, and surveillance systems are used to monitor the airport and the surrounding area for potential threats. After the airport survey is complete, the advance team moves to the president's hotel. The hotel is chosen to minimize travel time from both the airport and the event venue. The team selects the safest room and floor for the president, secures the surrounding floors, designates a dedicated elevator, and plans the locations of security personnel, CCTV cameras, X-ray machines, and entry points. Food security is also a priority. Every meal is tested before being served, and a duplicate meal is prepared as a backup in case of any problem. The hotel's security is further strengthened by verifying staff, restricting access to sensitive areas, and making any necessary security modifications. Once the hotel inspection is complete, the advance team begins surveying the venues where the president's official events will take place. At the event venue, the advance team first identifies nearby high-rise buildings that could pose a security risk. These buildings are secured, rooftop security positions are established, and nearby residents and buildings are verified before the event. The venue itself is sealed with heavy-duty anti-ram barricades capable of stopping vehicle attacks. To reduce security risks, even VIPs and government officials are usually transported to the venue using controlled shuttle vehicles instead of their own cars. The president's podium is also specially designed by the U.S. Secret Service. Known as the Blue Goose, it is built to provide additional protection while the president is speaking. Every movement is planned in advance, from where the president will stand to the exact routes for entering and leaving the stage. The venue's entry and exit points are secured, the surrounding airspace is declared a no-fly zone, and the ground beneath the venue is inspected to detect any potential underground threats. After completing the survey, the advance team creates a detailed 3D layout of the entire visit using drones and laser mapping. They then prepare a comprehensive risk index report identifying potential threats, emergency procedures, and security measures for every stage of the visit. The report is sent to Washington, where it is reviewed by the U.S. Secret Service and the White House Military Office. They develop multiple contingency plans before sharing the final security plan with all participating agencies and the host country. About 10 to 15 days before the president arrives, a second advance team travels to the host country to conduct full-scale rehearsals, testing the security plan, communications, motorcade routes, and emergency response procedures to ensure everything is ready for the visit. About 10 to 15 days before the visit, the United States sends a second advance team to the host country. Their job is to test the security plan prepared by the first team through live demonstrations of the motorcade, communications, emergency response, and other critical operations. They conduct mock drills at the airport, hotel, roads, and event venues while testing cameras, anti-drone systems, radar, jammers, and other security equipment. The airport and presidential routes are also tested with full-scale convoy rehearsals to identify and fix any security weaknesses before the president arrives. Once these inspections are complete, the U.S. Secret Service takes full control of the president's hotel. The rooms, corridors, ventilation system, kitchens, and electronic equipment are searched and secured again. The president's floor is isolated, additional protective measures are installed, and a dedicated war room is established to coordinate any emergency response. From the moment the president arrives, he is protected by a 7-layer security system. The outer layers are managed by the host country's police and security forces, while the innermost layer is handled exclusively by U.S. Secret Service agents, who remain with the president at all times. The security perimeter extends for several kilometers, and the surrounding airspace is declared a no-fly zone. As an additional precaution, local authorities secure the surrounding area by restricting access and taking preventive action against individuals considered potential security risks, helping ensure the visit proceeds safely. In the final days before the visit, security restrictions become even tighter. The surrounding area is secured, objects such as kites and balloons are prohibited, and special teams are deployed to remove anything that could enter the president's airspace. Wildlife, including monkeys, is also kept away from event locations to prevent unexpected disruptions. At the same time, all of the equipment needed for the visit is flown to the host country aboard C-17 Globemaster cargo aircraft. These aircraft transport the president's armored limousine, the Beast, backup vehicles, helicopters, radar systems, jammers, K-9 units, sniper equipment, and other specialized security assets. On the day of departure, the president leaves the White House and travels by Marine One to Joint Base Andrews. Marine One is not the name of a specific helicopter. It is the radio call sign for whichever helicopter the president is flying in. Multiple identical helicopters fly together, so it is difficult to identify which one is carrying the president. At Joint Base Andrews, 2 specially modified Boeing VC-25 aircraft are ready. Whichever aircraft the president boards becomes known by the call sign Air Force One. As the president walks to the aircraft, a military aide carries the nuclear football, a secure briefcase containing emergency military response options that remains with the president at all times. With the president aboard Air Force One, months of planning, security preparations, and international coordination are finally complete, and the overseas visit officially begins. The nuclear football contains emergency military response options and the equipment needed for the president to communicate securely with the Pentagon during a crisis. It also includes the Biscuit, a small card containing the president's authentication codes, which are used to verify his identity before authorizing any nuclear order. All of these capabilities remain available even while the president is flying aboard Air Force One. Despite its name, Air Force One is not a specific aircraft model. It is simply the call sign used by any U.S. Air Force aircraft carrying the president, a system adopted to prevent confusion in air traffic communications. Air Force One is essentially a flying White House. It contains the president's private suite, conference and dining rooms, 2 full-service kitchens, work areas for the Secret Service and the press, and a medical facility capable of handling emergencies. The aircraft is equipped with secure military communications, advanced radar, missile warning systems, electronic countermeasures, and protection against electromagnetic pulse (EMP) attacks, allowing the president to remain in command from anywhere in the world. During international flights, Air Force One is often escorted by U.S. fighter aircraft for additional security. Before the aircraft lands in the host country, the surrounding airspace is placed under strict security restrictions, while the airport remains under the operational control of the U.S. Secret Service. By the time Air Force One touches down, sniper positions have been established, security teams are already in place, and the presidential motorcade, transported earlier by C-17 Globemaster cargo aircraft, is fully prepared to begin the president's journey. When the U.S. president steps off Air Force One, the arrival ceremony depends on the type of visit. During a full state visit, the president is welcomed with a red carpet, a guard of honor, and other official ceremonies. For working visits or international summits, the reception is usually more limited and handled by senior government officials. While cameras and the media cover the arrival, immigration formalities have already been completed in advance by the U.S. Embassy, allowing the president to leave the airport without the normal immigration process. Waiting outside is the presidential motorcade, which had been transported to the host country before the visit. The president then boards the Beast, the heavily armored presidential limousine, and follows the route that was selected months earlier by the advance team. The Beast is built to withstand extreme threats. It features thick armor, bullet-resistant glass, a sealed cabin with its own filtered air supply to protect against chemical or biological attacks, run-flat tires, a reinforced fuel tank, and emergency medical equipment, including blood matching the president's blood type. The vehicle also serves as a mobile command center, allowing the president to communicate securely with the White House, the Pentagon, and U.S. military commanders at any time. For additional protection, it is equipped with defensive countermeasures designed to help the motorcade escape dangerous situations if necessary. From the moment the president leaves the airport, the entire journey takes place within the previously planned 7-layer security system, as the presidential motorcade travels toward the hotel under constant protection. When the president leaves the airport, he travels as part of a carefully organized presidential motorcade. At the front are advanced vehicles that inspect the route, provide real-time updates, and ensure the roads remain clear for the convoy. They are followed by police motorcycles and patrol cars that manage traffic and allow the motorcade to maintain a constant speed without stopping. Next comes the lead vehicle, followed by the president's armored limousine, the Beast. To make it difficult to identify which vehicle is carrying the president, several identical limousines travel with the convoy and regularly change positions. Close behind the president is a vehicle carrying U.S. Secret Service agents who are prepared to respond immediately to any threat. The convoy also includes electronic countermeasure vehicles that jam hostile signals, detect drones, and protect against remote-controlled attacks. Other vehicles carry White House staff, the counter-assault team, communication specialists, hazardous materials response units, medical personnel, and members of the press. A mobile communications vehicle maintains secure contact with the White House, the Pentagon, and other government agencies throughout the journey. The convoy is further protected by helicopters overhead, while the host country's security forces secure the surrounding area. By the time the president reaches the hotel, the entire route has been continuously monitored, and the hotel itself is operating under one of the highest levels of security in the world. The hotel where the president stays effectively becomes a temporary White House. Security is maintained around the clock, and every area is continuously monitored. To protect the president's privacy, the Secret Service follows strict protocols. Even biological waste is secured and removed so that no one can obtain information about the president's health or medical condition. The president's visit is also tightly scheduled. Each day begins with intelligence and policy briefings inside the hotel, where advisors review the objectives of the visit and the key issues to discuss with the host country. The president then attends meetings with national leaders, business executives, and senior officials, along with press conferences, public speeches, and official state events. While these engagements are taking place, the work of the White House continues from the hotel through secure communications and mobile command facilities. Once the objectives of the visit have been completed, the president returns to the United States, according to the planned schedule. The remaining personnel, equipment, and cargo aircraft follow shortly afterward. A presidential overseas visit is one of the most expensive and complex government operations in the world. Although the White House has never officially disclosed the total cost, it involves months of planning, thousands of personnel, specialized aircraft and vehicles, and extensive security measures across 2 countries.